All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TMPS Nightcap, the late night companion to the TMPS podcast. Head over to tmpspodcast.com and check out our newest episode, TMPS 120, Travis the Chimp. It is a phenomenal show, 2 hours of great conversation between Jason and I. We talk about a lot of different things, but the primary focus of that show is the 2009 tragedy with none other than Travis the Chimp. I am wearing, if you listen to TMPS 120, we do mention this timepiece. This is a Ulysse Nardin executive dual time. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous timepiece. I rarely wear it. It is really fantastic. Ulysse Nardin makes a beautiful watch. Definitely go check it out. The executive dual time. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous timepiece. I do have my nightcap, some Bacardi and Diet. Oh, my God. I'm already drunk, people. I'm knocking into my microphone. All right, so let's get going to in the show. Again, we do have a brand new episode of the main podcast out, TMPS 120. Head over to tmpspodcast.com. Listen on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. We're all over the place. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. So let's get into what's going on in the world. I thought Jason was going to be joining. Let me see where the heck Jason is. He said he was going to be joining us, and I don't see him here. I don't know what he's doing. Jay, let's rock and roll here, man. I'm going to go on, what do you call it? Facebook Live. See if anyone's around on the Facebook. All right, so let's get into it. I was hoping Jay was going to tune in so he can comment. I like when he comments. So I'm thinking about moving this show to 10:30 p.m. instead of 11:30. I think 11:30 might be a little bit too late because I do want people to actually participate. So I am going to be changing it, I think, to 10:30 or 11. I think I'm going to try 10:30 for a bit and see how that works out for people. All right, so in the news, big news, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that Elon Musk, a huge proponent of real free speech, offered to buy Twitter, which I thought was insane. I thought it was more of some kind of maybe ploy to start his own thing or, just shake the woke world up a little bit, give leftists something to worry about. However, it has been reported that Twitter has accepted Elon Musk's bid to purchase 100% of Twitter, an almost $44 billion purchase. $54.20 per share, which is a 38% premium, meaning that's 38% above what it's trading at. Now, I believe I reported last time that it was an 18% premium, but stock prices do move around. So I'm assuming at the time of this deal, it went from 18 to 38. So shareholders, whoever, are going to get a 38% return on their investment after this all goes through, which is insane. And honestly, that to me, I feel is a big factor in all of this. That's a huge return. And I wonder how it works because he owns 9%. Is he like paying himself? I don't really know how all that works. But the company Twitter will now be owned 100% by Elon Musk and will be considered a private company because he owns 100%. I'm not really sure how that all works, how a traded company, if someone buys 100% of the stock of a traded company, is that company still traded? He's just the sole shareholder? I have no idea how all that works, but he owns the whole company now. I think he should fire everyone and start over. That's my 2 cents on the matter. Obviously, because Elon Musk is a proponent of real free speech, the leftists are all in a frenzy. Um, Leave Twitter was trending, which is a very similar sentiment to leftists wanting to move to Canada if Trump got elected or reelected for that matter. It's kind of the same kind of thing. And honestly, who cares, right? And obviously the big thing about Twitter is we all know that while they allow groups like the Taliban to be on their platform, they have banned someone like former President Donald Trump. And obviously, a lot of people think that if Elon Musk buys Twitter, we're going to reinstate Donald Trump tomorrow. However, Donald Trump has said that he will not be returning to Twitter, but instead staying with his own platform called Truth, which I believe launched a month ago. I tried to download it, but it was not available on Google, on the Samsung, on the Android yet. So it's only on the iPhone. So as soon as Donald Trump's new social media platform, Truth, is available at the Google Play Store, I will be downloading it. But it looks like Donald Trump has basically said, I have my own platform now. I'm done with Twitter, regardless of who owns it. I kind of wonder how long that's going to last. I kind of feel if Musk reinstates Trump, it might be I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Truth goes. I don't really know how popular that's going to be, especially now that Musk owns all of Twitter. And I really feel, you see, I don't consider Musk a political person, really. But I do think he would reinstate Trump uh, just because he's a former president and it's free speech, et cetera, et cetera. And I just think that's what he would do. But apparently Donald Trump says he is going to stick to his own platform and not head back to Twitter if given the chance. So on Earth Day this year, 50-year-old practicing Buddhist and climate change activist Win Bruce burned himself alive in front of the U.S. Supreme Court to bring attention to his cause of climate change. Supporters are calling him a martyr and hailing him as a hero. This reminds me of that famous photo, I believe from 1963 by Malcolm Brown in Singapore. There's that famous burning monk photo. Anytime there's a list of like the most iconic photos of all time, that's always on the list. And it was a Buddhist monk. It's called self-immolation. I didn't even know it was called that, burning oneself alive in protest. And see, I always thought that was in protest of the Vietnam War, but it was actually something to do with a leader, I believe in South Vietnam. Basically, there was some anti-Buddhist. They were trying to basically alienate the Buddhists and bring in Christianity, I think. And that's why he burned himself. And it actually kind of worked. There were a lot of changes. I didn't do a whole thing on that. I'm not going to go into the whole political landscape of Vietnam in the 60s and Buddhism and stuff, because honestly, I don't know much about it. But all I know is it's very reminiscent of that photo from the 60s. I mean, that is really something, guys. Can you imagine burning yourself alive? Unbelievable. 50 years old, Win Bruce. It's all over the news in front of the Supreme Court. Take a look at it. Now, everyone knows, unless you're living under a rock, that Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard for defamation, $50 million lawsuit. And it is all over the internet. And there's a ton of stuff going on with this Johnny Depp trial. But one thing stuck out to me, and I could not believe this. I just could not believe that this was something that is not only, I guess, true, but something that came up. During the trial, they presented a photograph of Johnny Depp's bed. And unfortunately, when asked to describe this photo, Depp said that after an argument with Amber Heard, there was human fecal matter in his bed. Ladies and gentlemen, she literally shit the bed. And I just know that she will never live this down as long as she lives. I can't even, I mean, Johnny Depp literally was almost laughing on the stand when this was brought up. And obviously Amber Heard was like completely devastated and humiliated. But listen, if you go on TikTok, you're going to see videos, all kind of stuff making fun of her about shitting the bed. I mean, she'll never live this down. It is literally unbelievable. But there's so much going on with that trial. I could spend hours talking about it because they're doing, Johnny Depp's on the stand right now. There's all these videos. She recorded him. There's all this stuff going on. They were both drugs and booze. And, I really don't know what. I mean, I feel I'm kind of on Johnny Depp's side because if she really took a dump on his bed, I think the case should be closed. I think, where's the gavel? Done. It's over. That's insane. That is literally insane. I mean, I would just call, like, done. Johnny wins. Johnny Depp wins. $50 million for shitting the bed. You can't do that. Come on. What kind of people are these? She was an Aquaman. Unreal. So I actually forgot about this. The Alec Baldwin shooting. Yeah, she is a degenerate, Jason. She's a total degenerate. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I think she's a drunk. And I'm sure Johnny has he did have a mega pint. Did you see that a question? Her lawyer asked him if he poured a mega pint of wine. He goes, a mega pint? As if, what does that even mean? That's not even like a real thing. He said, I poured a large glass of wine. A mega pint? That's insane. Who says that? But I did forget about this, guys. Do you guys remember that Alec Baldwin killed someone? I just totally forgot about that. So we all know, when was it, last October? Or this past October? Alec Baldwin accidentally shot and killed the cinematographer on his movie set Rust while he was practicing drawing a gun for a scene. And apparently, crime scene photos and videos have been released showing Baldwin saying that he felt no recoil. Video showing him practicing drawing the gun. I watched this video. He's literally, they're just filming. There's no sound. They're just kind of, they're getting the camera moves around a lot. I think they're trying to get the camera in place. He's saying things, but not like lines, though. It's like he's speaking to the cinematographer or the director or someone. You can only see him. He's got the gun. They're in a church. He's got the gun. He's just practicing, pulling it out, practicing, where it should be. Oh, my God, I have a pen in here. I'm just going to pull a pen out of my jacket. I wore this jacket to a meeting the other day. I had a pen in my jacket. And there's video of, what's crazy, though? You're watching this video of him practicing drawing the gun. And I don't know if the video shows the actual shot, because I'm assuming if it did, they wouldn't put that on the news. They might show the video up until then, but they wouldn't show the fatal practice. But it's kind of weird because he's pulling that gun out over, and it's like, oh, at one point the gun went off. There's video showing him practice. I'm sorry, video showing first responders around the cinematographer who died and the director who was injured but survived. And there's video of a deputy talking to Baldwin. There's video of like the at the police station questioning Baldwin. And I'm not like an Alec Baldwin like fan or anything. And I don't know what really happened. I don't know if we'll ever really know. Obviously they had a novice armorer. She was very young, not that experienced. At one point in the article, it talked about Baldwin asking, like, could a dummy round be faulty and actually become like a live round or actually shoot out of the, I don't know. Listen, I don't know much about dummy rounds and all of that stuff and blanks and all of that. But I just feel like the director who was shot and injured but survived said that it seemed like the bullet went through the cinematographer and then into him. And if that's like a fake round, like a blank or a dummy round, to me, could a fake bullet really go through someone and then hit someone else? It seems like a live round to me. But again, I've never been on a movie set. I've never used one of these firearms. I really have no idea. But for it to go in and out of one person and hit another, I don't know. But he said he felt no recoil, which is very interesting. Very interesting to feel no recoil. But there's videos been released. I did watch the one where it shows him in costume on set practicing drawing the gun, but I wasn't, and I don't know if I didn't really watch the other ones, just read about them. But it's very tragic. It's very unfortunate. But I don't really, I'm not really kind of like, put Baldwin in jail or anything. I mean, accidents do happen. And it's so funny because, a lot of these super lib actors, they're so like anti-gun or, whatever. But think about how many Hollywood films have guns in them. Just like think about it. They support all these candidates who are anti-gun, anti-NRA, anti-Second Amendment. And then they go right to Hollywood. And all the posters are people with guns, and he's pulling, it's a Western, so what? He's pulling guns out, and they're just hypocritical about it. If they were really anti-gun, they wouldn't be making these films. They wouldn't be promoting gun use to fill their bank accounts. But at the end of the day, it's what people like. It's America. We like a movie with guns, a shooting up movie. It's just how it is. It's fun. You know what's great? Those John Wick films. That is some awesome gun usage. John Wick. That is some, and actually, what's his name? Keanu Reeves does all his own stuff. He's fantastic. Really good gun work in that. Great fighting. Very realistic. So, next in the news. Florida versus Disney. Right off the bat here, I love Disney. I've been to Disney World and Disneyland countless times. I'm a huge fan. Grew up on Disney, I think like a lot of kids. And I just don't know what Disney gains by going woke. We see so many things failing because of wokeness. I think Twitter was the ultimate woke company, and look now. But with Twitter, you think, money talks, okay? That's the end of the that's really how it is. You got these people, these super woke people at Twitter. The CEO's an idiot. And, they didn't have to do this. They could have continued with their wokeness and their woke agenda and their leftist agenda. But when you have a 38% return, you become a right-wing capitalist real fast. And they just saw money signs. They get to go get their own yachts and stuff now and move on with their lives. I mean, like the big shareholders. And in a way, Twitter kind of, hey, what's going on? I got someone watching on the YouTube. What's happening, man? Thank you so much for Chris is watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm getting serious here, talking about Florida and Disney, talking about some serious stuff. But in a way, Twitter went woke, and they actually did kind of, well, go broke is not the right word because they made a lot of money, but now the company is done. Twitter as it is, Twitter as the leftist woke beacon of hope is now gone. So in a way, they did go broke as far as their message is concerned, as far as their ideology is concerned. It's done now. And it's incredible. It's not a game, Chris. It's not a game. It's like the leftists in Hollywood with their guns. In an interview, they're supporting the anti-NRA leftist candidates, and on set, they got guns ablazing. So, I don't know why Disney decided to go woke. I don't know what they gained from that. They entertain children primarily. Obviously, they do have the Marvel movies now and Star Wars and such. But they are an entertainment company that primarily entertains children. I don't know why they have to get involved. We do need Chris back on the show. Just real quick. Hey, Chris, I definitely, we've been trying to plan a show, a podcast where we discuss the greatest American bands. And I think we really need to get that show together and do it. I think it's an important show to do, and I think people would really like it. So I think we should try to get that together, plan a day, an evening, and we can all do a little research, get our lists together. I'll get some what I'll do is I'll get some official lists like Rolling Stone or whatever. And you guys put together what you think, and we'll kind of compare what do these so-called experts say. Oh, we got to talk about Shatner. So Chris and I went and we got to see and kind of meet William Shatner. We definitely have to talk about that. We definitely have. Oh, that is, we can kind of maybe piggy that. Well, we'll see. I think we should do a show just about the bands. And then we can do a Shatner thing, during a regular show where we're just like chatting. But anyway, I don't see any benefit for Disney to go woke. They've been very successful for very long without it. And but this was kind of coming though, when Disney has been doing a lot of stuff to kind of maybe they don't have certain things on their streaming service because it's maybe culturally insensitive because it's just dated. So in a way, and that was in response to Black Lives Matter. So in a way, they kind of have a way of knee-jerk responding to different social things. So in a way, this kind of makes sense if you think about it. So Governor DeSantis has signed a bill, and I didn't even know Disney had these things. I had no idea. DeSantis signs a bill ending Disney's tax privileges, self-governing status, and special exemption status. And this is in retaliation. It's reported. I forget who I got this from. Reuters, I think. Reuters basically said this is in retaliation. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. That this is what this one article said, that this bill that DeSantis did, ending Disney's tax privileges and such, is in retaliation for Disney's opposition to the so-called "Don't Say Gay" bill. And I really wonder again, why is Disney even talking about that? Like, why are they even involved in anything to do with, you know, not teaching kindergarteners, about being transgender and taking, hormone blockers? But I had no idea that Disney controls its Florida parks like it's their own city and country. And they had all these tax breaks and things. Now, what I read was back in the day when Disneyland in California was so popular, Florida did this to get Walt Disney to build Disney World in Florida. They were like, we're going to give you all these tax breaks, all these exemptions. We're going to let you run Disney World like your own little country if you build it here in Florida. And now all these years later, DeSantis is like, you don't have it anymore. Now, they're not really sure, though. Some people think this might backfire on Florida. Some people think that this might actually have a negative effect on Florida as a state, where obviously DeSantis is hoping this has a negative effect on Disney itself. However, like anything, when it's about wokeness and politics and ideologies, DeSantis and the right is going to say it's going to mess Disney up, and Disney and the leftists are going to say this is actually going to backfire on Florida. Well, who really knows at the end of the day? It might not even make a difference. I mean, Disney's huge. We know Disney is huge. But is it really going to mess up the whole state of Florida? I don't know. So Netflix, their stock has taken a tumble, and I'm afraid to check my portfolio. I don't know if I have Netflix. I hope I don't. It's joking, but their stock has shit the bed. Their stock has taken what we now call an Amber Heard, and they have lost subscribers. I believe it was for the first time, and their stock sank. And, I was thinking about this, and I'm thinking this really has nothing to do with Netflix per se, but the idea that if you want to watch a show, like if I wanted to, like 5-6 years ago, if I wanted to watch Frasier, it was on Netflix. Now it's on Peacock because it's an NBC property. If I wanted to watch Star Trek, I could go on Netflix, but I can't anymore because that's now on Paramount Plus because it's a Paramount property. If I want to watch Star Wars, I can't watch it on Netflix because it's a Disney property, so it's on Disney Plus. If I want to watch that show Heels about the pro wrestlers, I have to get Stars. If I want to watch The Batman, it's now on HBO Max. The point is this: Netflix used to be the only game in town. It was like Netflix, Hulu, and like that's it. I can't think. I think there was a third. I can't remember. Now, everyone and their mother has their own streaming service. If I want to watch that show Picard, the new season with Q in it and everything, he goes back in time, I have to get Paramount Plus. It's not on Netflix. And I think what's happening is the market is just now correcting. When Netflix was the only show in town, you know what's funny? Netflix, Disney, these are stocks and companies. Excuse me. Let me get a sip of my Nightcap here on Tmps Nightcap. Netflix and Disney, Netflix became like a blue chip stock or like Coca-Cola. It's something that you invest in that'll be stable, that'll go up over time. And now look, Netflix is not too big to fail. And I don't know what the Disney stock is doing. I really have no idea. I got this tickle in my throat. I might have to end the show. Oh, that's not sexy at all. I have a tickle in my throat. Just real quick. So, but obviously that's the bottom line. Netflix, this is an adjustment, I believe, of market share. Netflix isn't the only game in town. And if you're a huge fan of The Office, of Cheers, and all these NBC shows, Seinfeld, they're no longer on Netflix, and you just delete Netflix and you get Peacock, which is NBC's streaming service. IndyCar's on Peacock, and you get rid of Netflix and you pay for a Peacock because you don't need Netflix. And think about it this way: if I did want to watch something on Netflix, I subscribe, I watch it, and then I unsubscribe. Man, too bad. When I record shows, I can usually edit out coughs and stuff, but this is live. I have a tickle. I have a tickle in my throat, ladies and gentlemen. I need more booze. Give me a second. All right, just a couple things. No, one last thing. Jason, are you watching, or is that Chris? I only got one person watching. This past weekend, Formula One was in Imola at the Emilio Romano Grand Prix at Ferrari's track in Imola. And unfortunately, Ferrari did not have. Hey, Jason, do you want to mention the farm that we went to? Oh, you guys are both here. See, it only says one person, but I guess two. I don't know how this shit works. Anyway, F1, Formula One was in Imola this past weekend, and that is Ferrari's home track and hometown. And unfortunately, Ferrari did not have a great weekend. Sainz was out on lap one, and Leclerc ended up, yes, Ed McMahon style. Oh yeah. And Leclerc ended up. He finished the race, but he spun out and was not able to battle Max for first. Hamilton did not do well. Hamilton, Jason and I he messaged me saying, Hamilton might head over to Ferrari, but I don't think that's possible. Sainz just signed a brand new contract for another 2 years, I believe. Leclerc's number one in the championship. I don't care how unhappy Hamilton is or how obviously legendary he is. I just don't think Ferrari is interested. They just signed with Sainz. Hamilton's never driven that Ferrari before. Just because, I don't know. You throw Hamilton in that car tomorrow. Is he going to be fast? Does he know how to use it? He's never driven it. He's never tested it. And I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Hamilton, the issue is Russell is doing well. That's the problem. The problem is that Russell was what? P4? P5? I think he was P4. One off from the podium. Hamilton was like P14 or something. I don't know what it is about Hamilton. It's so funny because Toto Wolff, the team principal, came over the horn and was like, I'm very sorry. Hamilton, I know that the car is undrivable. Undrivable. George Russell is one step off of the podium. It's Mickey Mouse, Jason. Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, is now Mickey Mouse. It's insane. Last year, if Michael Massey didn't make the call for drivers to unlap themselves, Lewis would be an 8-time champion. He went from being almost the champion to barely breaking the top 10 over a weekend, if being like in the top 10. And I don't know what's going on there because George Russell obviously has figured it out. And Hamilton is not happy, but there's no way he's going to go to Ferrari. And it's unfortunate that Ferrari did not do well in front of their home fans, the Tifosi as they're called. But that's how it goes sometimes. You're in front of your home crowd. Russell is a good driver. He's a great driver. And it really makes you wonder what's going on with Hamilton's car. Ferrari did choke. I think Sainz is choking under the pressure a bit of being, in the best team. Now this, however, I do have to say though, Sainz crashing out on lap 1 was not his fault. It was really just the first lap. Well, what was his fault is the fact that he was not in a better grid position. Because the further up you are, the less chance you're gonna collide. When you're in the mid to backfield, you get bunched up. So if Sainz, like he should have been, was up on the first or second row, maybe third row, he wouldn't have been in that position. But Daniel Ricciardo bumped into him. Ricciardo said he was pushed into Sainz. Ricciardo was able to get back on the track. Hey, Chris, thank you so much for tuning in to TMPS Nightcap on YouTube Live. You have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. And let's get that show together about the best American bands. However, Sainz, my brother's calling me. LJ. Hey, I got the package. All right. I'm doing my late night show. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye. But anyway, I don't know what happened to Facebook. Resume. But anyway, however, Sainz was bumped into the gravel and could not get out of the gravel, and therefore he was out of the race. And it's unfortunate, but I'm a huge Red Bull fan. So Max was P1. His teammate Sergio Perez was P2. They got a whole bunch of points in not only the main race, but the sprint race. And so, that was really great. That made me feel great. Red Bull, I think, they had a super good weekend. It kind of puts them, Leclerc and Ferrari are still ahead, but hey, we got, I think, 19 races left. There's a lot of races left. A lot left. So we got a lot to go. Just real quick, Jason, we should really talk about this on the next main show. But Jason and I were over a mutual friend's house. It was Jason's friend, now my friend, my acquaintance. And we went over to have some drinks, smoke some cigars, hang out, man stuff. He built a fire, And I was not aware, and Jason was not aware, that our friend Travis the Chimp could have been there. This friend of ours has a pig, a goat, several chickens, a bunny rabbit, a couple turkeys. I thought we were at like Dr. Doolittle's house. And I swore if a chimpanzee came out of the woods, I was going to run. Because we all know what Travis the Chimp did. Listen to TMPS 120. But we're sitting, this goat is just hanging out, and the pig comes up to me, starts oinking. And you know what? I had no idea that pigs could be hairy. This pig had like fur. This really like coarse fur. Hey, Jason, did you see that I'm wearing the executive dual time? The Ulysses. Look at that gorgeous timepiece. And the goat was so funny. The goat just like peed on its bed and was just like laying there. And then like a chicken came up, and you can hear the turkeys. And then our friend goes, "Do you want some eggs?" And, he had hors d'oeuvres for us. We had some drinks. We had the cigars. He had some like crackers and salami and stuff. And I thought he meant like, do we want like an omelet or something? He goes, "No, my chickens. I get like 15 eggs a day. Like, do you guys want?" And we forgot to get them at the end of the night. So we got to go back and get some fresh eggs. And I'm like, dude, you have like a little self-sustaining farm here. If push comes to shove, you have bacon walking around your backyard. I don't know if you can eat goat, but I don't know, maybe, probably a little gamey. And I didn't see the rabbit there. I don't know if you noticed that, Jay, but there was a pen at the other end of the house that had like a rabbit in it. But I could not believe that there was literally a pig walking up to me. But it's not like a standard pink pig hairless pink pig like that you kind of have in your head. It had this like brown and like gray hair, and it was oinking. It was literally, legitimately oinking. And and the goat I thought was hysterical, dude. A literal goat. Unbelievable. So funny. But guys, I think that's enough for it was like a wild boar. Totally. See, I thought like only boars had hair like that. I didn't know pigs could have hair. Maybe like real short hair. But this was like really long. I was like blown away by it. Like, where do you buy a pig? I'm like, man, can I mean, I probably can't have livestock at my place because I rent. But I'm thinking like if I wanted a pig, I wouldn't even know like where to go. I should Google it, where to buy a pig, like a pet pig. See, I thought those turkeys were like wild. He goes, no, those are my turkeys. Well, I think one was a girl, one was a guy. And like that chicken, we're sitting there, this chicken is just coming up. And you want to know something? How do they know like they don't seem to like they seem to like stick to the yard. Like they know this is where they live. Like how does a chicken know that? It's like, okay, this is where, because his whole yard isn't like fenced in. Oh, he did. The neighbor did said females don't gobble. Well, don't if you don't gobble, don't text me back. Females don't gobble. Dude, I think we should end on that. This is TMPS Nightcap 425 of 22. This show is called Females Don't Gobble. And guys, remember to go to tmpspodcast.com. Check out TMPS 120 on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. tmpspodcast.com. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'm going to end Facebook Live. Thank you, Facebook. Well, I had actually a bunch of people tuning in. I'm really thinking that this is a better time to do the show. I had many more people tuning in on Facebook. I had a couple people tuning in on YouTube. So I'm going to push the show from 11:30 to 10:30 to get more involvement. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on TMPS Nightcap and the Michael Pinchak Show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. See you next time.